What's going on, guys? It's Luke here from Mr. FBA UK. We're bringing you another video. So today we're actually going to be talking about something which is been around for maybe 1 to 2 months or 6 weeks. It is this suspected intellectual property violations complaint section within account health. Now, this isn't actually my UK account or portal. This is the Germany one. Now, for some reason, as most people will do, they check their account health now and then to make sure that they are aware of anything that's going on in the background. And this section here never used to be here. So obviously, received intellectual property complaints is when a manufacturer or brand or something will come, basically, well, put a complaint into Amazon to say that you've violated some sort of IP infringement and trademark and all that sort of thing. And that will go here. So obviously this is going to be a serious, what I would call like a serious category to get those raised in, yeah? But then you have suspected. Now, that's an interesting word, isn't it? Suspected. It's like, I think it could be. You know, it's sort of like that. Which made me think, well, hang on. So how is this how is this like policed within Amazon? Obviously, with Amazon, we never really know what the hell they're doing, to be fair. So all we can do is manage what they're doing as best as we can and try to figure out what they're doing and then try to understand it and then try to put things in place to prevent these. That's the best you can do, really, isn't it? On my UK account, I've got nothing, you know, touch. But I've got none of these, no policy violations, basically. But on Germany, in the last, I'll go ahead and click onto it anyway, and so you can see. In the last 2 months, I've got one in each month. And I'm like, well, okay, well, because they're suspected, I'm like, not as bad as, you know, like a real one. But I'm also like, you know what, obviously I don't want to be, I want to be on, like, I don't want to just be oblivious to this and sort of tick over. So, first one I had was in April. Now, this was a really weird item anyway. It was something I got on retail arbitrage. Like I recently started picking it up, but this is just a random purchase I made in Sainsbury's when I was just out and about. And I literally bought one, sent it in, it sold, and that was that. And you can sort of see here, it gives you a rough understanding of what it is. So basically it tells you the ASIN, the product, and it tells you what they did. So they removed the listing. And actually what happens is, if you go on to this, they delete the actual listing itself. So you'll have your product in the catalog still, but sorry, I'm completely wrong. So if we went to the Germany one, yeah, the internet's really bad where I'm currently sat, so it will take a minute or so just to tick over, but you can see, so we go into it and it doesn't exist. And if you go into the UK one, when you look on the sort of BuyBot Pro FBA model tool, you can see there's no ranking and no sale price on Germany anymore. So it's being removed, but it will stay in your inventory. And obviously, what I did on that one is I just, like you would with the product, like you would with the product restrictions, just go ahead and close the listing, and that's normally fine. It's because in different countries they have different ingredients that you're not all are allowed in products. So you know, because that was literally something I would never buy normally, and I've never seen it in the shop, so I've never seen it online. It's just sort of something I just picked up. I thought, well, okay, if I just delete it, I don't know what this category really is. We're just going to sort of accept it for now, and obviously it's 180 days as well, just so you know. So within 180 days, it should disappear. Obviously, it's still going to be on your account, I guess, in the background, as most things are, because they're adding, like, a lot of these have been added recently. So this restricted products never used to be there, but obviously it must have been, it's recorded somehow, or maybe it wasn't. But you know, I would have thought that they have a lot of data that maybe they don't show you necessarily. And then recently, as of a couple of days ago, I noticed this. Now the only reason I actually checked this is because someone in the group posted a email from Amazon saying that this had happened basically on a UK listing. Now, actually, on the German version, so I'm quite like good at knowing what the normal emails that you get to say an item sold. in all the countries, you just get used to the wording. And I always will check that others that don't make the writing slightly off, different. And then that will usually be something related to either pricing or policy, some sort of this policy thing. But if for some reason in Germany I've never had any, I didn't have either of these come through. But a guy in the Facebook group, basically, I jump over to it, got this email. And because it's been something in the background of my mind, I mean, it's there. No one's really mentioned it yet. So I haven't, I thought, and I hadn't, nothing was on the UK account. So if it was, I would have looked into it further. And I just had that one, and then it disappeared at one point. So I actually went back onto it in the Germany one, and it disappeared. The whole section, not the list, not the actual issue. The whole section disappeared. So I thought, okay, let's just see what happens. It basically says we've removed it for a potential misuse of trademark terms in terms of the product detail page. La 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 la. You can read it. It basically just says misuse of trademark on the page, pretty much. If you want to reactivate your listing, you're going to have to go onto your catalog and basically edit the page to be correct, according to what it's sort of saying. We jump over to actually click on it a second. And if it tells you the ASIN, it's basically like a Garnier Fructus style hair pot thing, and actually quite a lot of people had this, so it must have been on maybe some sourcing sheets or something, or from somewhere, because there's more than one person that's had it. Not that they can't find that item, of course, but yeah, you get what I mean. You can see here I mentioned that I had it on the Germany one. It falls under suspected, nothing special there. That's the video for getting on for how to do a plan of action, but that isn't really related to this. This is trying to figure out how you are getting. This video is basically to how, it's not about getting it removed, it's like, why are we getting them? Where are they coming from? More than anything else. So, I was saying this is the videos for an IP claim, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so if you look, Luke here has basically posted a photo to say this is the reason why the product has been deleted. So if you click onto it, you can actually see now, and I'll back this up with something as well. So I don't know how he's found this product, because when you search it, it actually doesn't exist anymore. But you can see here, he must have found it somehow. It says Maybelline. Now Garnier, really it should say Garnier, but it could say L'Oreal. Now the problem with saying L'Oreal is that Garnier are probably a subsidiary of L'Oreal, and Amazon may want the exact brand, not subsidiaries. It's like saying, I haven't got an example for you, my bad. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. So Maybelline is not the trademark. So basically, the trademark infringement is by calling this a Maybelline product and selling it as a potentially Maybelline. So people will look at the buy and see that. So now I sort of got a bit more of a better picture. Now I also then got an email. So being like I like to try to back up, not to get at least try to get information from Amazon. I emailed them. Here. So I literally, well, you can't see the actual sentence. I basically put a couple of scenarios, a couple of so I'll just see who was that. A couple of does this mean this? What happens if this happens? Da, 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 da. And actually, this is a great. Somehow, this is like the best reply I've ever seen in my life from Amazon. It's like, I don't know. I'm just amazed. It basically says this new feature is when they basically informs the sellers when they have misused a brand name. For instance, if a seller has a necklace which came from Pandora but has a damn it, I should have practiced this word before the video, shouldn't I? Swarovski, that will do, whatever, diamond in it, and the seller, do I have to say it again, had it listed as basically, if this product is a Pandora bracelet and it has this wording exactly where I just showed you here. So when you go on a product listing, and what I will do is I will actually just go on Amazon and I'll show you exactly where you'll even find it. And this is good like practice. That's really not what I've done. This is good practice, because what you can do is you can I'd say this is something I'll do,
is I'll go over it's not going to be fun, you can get a virtual assistant to do it. It's go over your current current catalogue. So this is a good thing that I always try to sort of promote is delete your catalogue over a monthly to 3 month basis when you are not selling the products anymore. You probably won't sell products. You don't know when you're going to sell the products and all this sort of thing. Yeah. So if it's a product that you're replenishing, maybe keep it. But if not, I like to sort of refresh and cycle out my catalogue on a continuous basis through all marketplaces. You have to go to every single individual marketplace and basically delete it off every single one because it won't do it across the board. So it'll be on the UK one. Let's just jump to this. Good example. So Lego, it should always say Lego. Now sometimes it doesn't, so it says Lego Movie 2. Now obviously I'm going to say that's fine because it's still got Lego. It doesn't use another brand or another trademark or brand in the name. Now I'm also assuming that it also means this, and it includes this section just here. Now I don't know if it does, but it's the product page which it is referencing, which is causing the issues, is the whole page. It shouldn't, of course, but what we all know as well, which is the worst part about it, is that anyone can go in and amend these listings and change the words. So in theory as well, you could be listing the product completely sort of positively and safe and find out that someone wants to go on change the product. And I've had that before where you'd be selling, wipes like wood wipes or something, things to do that with, and it's changed to like a spray, and some of the wording's changed and stuff like that, and now that will be when there's issues. So like I say with the catalogue, obviously keep going through your catalogue and stripping out all the old ones in case actually the reason for that was originally for your restricted products. If you're not selling this and it's still in your inventory, you'll get products. Now, I was reading on the forums because I thought, well, I'll just see what the hell's going on with the forums, which I never do, but I thought, why not? I checked for this, and people were getting these suspected intellectual property violations from listings that are 2 years old because you still have them in your catalogue. Like I said with the last video, imagine the Argos catalogue. I don't know why I came up with this example. Imagine the Argos catalogue. You're going to assume that these products are Argos products. Well, they're sold by Argos. Just because they haven't got them in stock doesn't mean you think, oh, they're not Argos products anymore just because they're not in stock. Well, of course they are. They're still in the catalogue. They're still being promoted by that company. So you're in your mindset, they are still an Argos product. You can get them from Argos. So same principle. If they're in your catalogue, just because you haven't got anything, Amazon will look at you and go, oh, it's your catalogue. Well, you are selling them, these products. Well, you're not, but yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. And people were getting, just like I keep saying with this, I've just said for the last, year, which I don't know if people listen to, but oh, strip out your catalogue continuously because you don't, anything that you just, if you, it's hard to say what's good or bad, what's not, but also, but you sort of you get used to ensure that you check performance. Yeah, so well, actually, at least this says performance notifications. This one just has nothing. Make sure you strip it out. Now, what we're going to have to probably do is now that they're doing this, and it can be changed. Their products do change. It's probably great or good to periodically check your listings. Now, yes, it's not going to be fun, which. But it's up to you. You sort of don't do it, and maybe you'll get more of these suspected intellectual property issues, or you do it, or you just pay a virtual assistant, which everyone should at some point get a virtual assistant, even if it's 1 day a week. That's what I say. 1 day a week is plenty to do the important little bits. It might only take an hour and a half to go through your listings, or an hour, but obviously if they're working 1 full day, they can potentially do 7-8 tasks, which are like that every week, not just one. And if you want them to do it monthly, of course, then it's just one time in a month, and continuously just check those brands, check for any conflicts, basically. So I keep looking out the window. Checking for conflicts in the listings, because you don't want this to happen, really. For example, like here, the issue I said, I can't go back onto this listing and check what the actual issue is, because it says Pampers, but it's clearly a Pampers product, which is You know, I need to have known the email information and combined it with all the rest to actually get a picture of how to tackle that, because now it's not there and I deleted it from my catalogue. I can't go back and find it, and it doesn't always translate properly when you do it across the country, so I can't even go onto the UK website and sort of check. I mean, I will just to double check that there isn't something obvious, but I do know the wording and stuff. Every country is slightly different. So like I was sending some Nescafe little sachets, and it was a 6-pack. Now on the German website it was a 12-pack, and it had, if you translate it, it will read 12-pack, and you could have got the same return twice, basically saying it is the wrong thing again. And I was like, well, that's a bit unusual. So it doesn't translate the same. So all I can do is learn from this, and do what I've just said to implement. Go through your listings. Once you've gone through it once, it's not like people are going to go and change things all the time and stuff. It doesn't happen that often, but it does happen. So you do have to be careful with that point. Was there anything else I was going to go touch on? So just be careful, really. When you are checking your product listings, like I always say though, this is always an important little bit to check when you're checking to see if you want to sell a product. That's number one. It's always been number one. It's very simple. You check if that says, if this, number one meaning if that is different and if it has this one of the sellers, if it's a product, if it has, any of these sellers, that means they've created that listing because they've literally put that product under their name. So sometimes they can be quite aggressive saying that it's their brand, their product, because they have put it by them. I've seen it in the past, and it's not obviously correct. And sometimes it could be a private label product. Obviously with Lego, it's clearly not a private label product. But you can see a product maybe not as sort of well known as this, may have a brand here, and you're not sure if it's private label, and then you would jump on here, check that it's the same. Now this is just another little element we've got to do. What you can do is it's hard to say. You could probably copy Lego, Control F, and just find all the words that say Lego to see if there's more than one, or you can, you can sort of, I don't know, there's no exact science, but just skim read this. I know it's extra work, but until well, that's just what I'll do until I actually know exactly how it's working, or we get further information and stuff like that. Then it's hard to ever say. Then it's not that much information really. Some of them don't even have as much detail down here. Sometimes this is blank. There's only a couple of bullet points here, so it's really not a lot of work. But it's just something to be fully aware of, because it's hard to say exactly what implications this could have for accounts. Now, I have, when reading these sort of forums, I saw that some people were getting like 80 issues because they've been selling for, obviously on the Amazon in the US, it's been selling, a lot of people have been selling for years and years and years and years and years, and they're huge sellers doing millions of pounds. And this is exactly, and they have like 80 different issues. Then sometimes it dropped off and had 0, and it was just, it was sort of a bit everywhere. And what I came to the conclusion is that a lot of this is done by bots. So you don't really need, all you need is basically a computer bot to figure out what this is, and then cross-reference the words and the brands to a database. And if more than one of the brands pops up, it means that there's 2 brands referenced on the page, meaning that's then a suspected intellectual property violation. That is right, yeah. So therefore, it would then be flagged on every single account that holds this listing, and it will be obviously removed, and the rest history. I think I covered everything. It's just another thing that Amazon have put in, and actually, in theory, I always like to say that word. It's it's actually almost a good thing, because you don't want to actually get one of these. That's ultimately what it's saving you from. But the problem is that it's giving you something which you never had, but it's protecting you against something worse. So you've got to sort of weigh it up in terms of, would you rather have 5 of these over a course of a year now and then, Not saying you're going to get them all the time, but we get one here, one there. Obviously, they only last for 180 days, so I know it's a little bit of a time, but it's not forever. Or have some of these, because these are obviously these are weighted higher on your account as more negatively than a suspected. And actually, a lot of people are getting these suspected as well, because obviously, but where it's new, I guess they're clearing out all the back end or the backlog of the catalogue. Because if you think how many listings there are on Amazon, how many duplicate listings, conflicting listings, there's everything on there. Which is why I'm actually very happy that my catalogue is stripped back. And a lot of people don't do that. I don't know if they haven't sort of been they haven't sort of learnt it as a thing to do, or they haven't found it necessary. But now luckily or unluckily, the knock-on effect with that is that you will start getting these, unless you obviously act now and try to avoid. You don't know how fast they've probably been in terms of getting this done. It could be that it's sort of rolled out very, because of the amount of products it will have to scan and go over is a huge amount. So it's very unlikely that they've gone through them all. But it's just something that you should definitely be looking at, as soon as you can, in terms of what it is, deleting the listings or checking the listings. So, for example, if I could check this, it may be that what that email said about the words is not the same. So it's saying that Pampers is used. Well, it is a Pampers product, and it says Pampers on the actual picture. Now, of course, I can't compare it, but you may find that there's actually no issue, which is going to be interesting. But from what the email said, plus the picture from the Facebook, that sort of thing, I can see that there is sort of a common denominator in terms of what it is for and what it's doing. Doesn't mean it's going to be 100% correct, but we just need to take action on this more than anything. I'm not going to say it, but but yeah, we need to take action on it, and just to try to remove the threat of any of these coming through. Any questions? Let me know. I'm sure most of you anyway, that do it more than part time will be aware of this. I've seen this. It's been here for quite a while, to be fair, and it's I always check my performance every day or couple of days, because a lot of the performance, these things don't even come through on email, but they just don't. So you need to be acting, because you need to be getting rid of them from your catalogue as soon as possible. Really, you may do it in 24 hours or 48 hours. A lot of people. I'm just trying to see what the date is. Yeah. So this was done a couple of days ago, and there was no email. And you just don't want to leave it in there, and 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 then potentially be hit with some new section that comes up, which is, I don't know, every product in the world, and then you just get a gazillion of these or something. Anyway, I'll leave the video there. Hopefully you got some insight and information on it. I believe probably you've got at least a little bit of an update on what's going on with the whole situation, what it is. Maybe you've never seen it before, and now you have. So yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.